You know, what I'm looking for here is, I'm easing up and down these little channels and up and down the breaks. I'm looking for wads of fish, sure. That's what I'm, you know, all of us are out here looking for and trying to find. But what I'm trying to find is some of the fish that are holding on some kind of structure, whether it be rock piles, whether it be brush piles out here in front of some of these docks. I've found that a lot of these fish that are just suspending, and especially if they're on a break, holding up 4 or 5 feet off the bottom and they're not on anything, those fish are going to be a little harder to catch because they'll roam on you pretty good. If I find the brush piles and find the fish holding on the brush, they're going to tend to hold tighter to that and not leave it quite as quick. So that's really what I'm looking for. I'm not only looking for the fish, I'm looking for the structure that the fish are holding on, so then I can set up and I can catch these fish easier. You know, right here you can look and see I'm coming up on a giant brush pile right here. And what I'm going to do, I've also, not only I've got a waypoint that I just put in right here, I threw out a marker buoy too. That way, even when I'm up front, the wind's blowing me around, I can still know where I'm supposed to be throwing, where that brush pile is. I didn't throw the buoy on top of the brush pile. I threw it about 10 yards out to the side. That way I hadn't disturbed these fish. So I've got my mark right here that I'm gonna turn back on, and then we can set up. I've got a visual with my buoy that I threw out. We're ready to go catch some fish. Good one. You know, just like that fish right there, kind of wore out our last little place, so here we are just looking around, scanning, came through and found a fresh green pile of brush right here. Found it on our electronics, threw a marker out. You can see I threw my marker out off to the side, and the wind picked up a little bit on us, so we kind of had to change techniques. I went to a 9-foot, you know, the Wally Marshall Bow Tie Series 9-foot loose, and put on an 8th. I swapped from a 16th, put the 8th on, got a little bit more control on that 8th, and we just came straight over them, just vertical, dropped it straight down. Had a couple of bites, picked up a nice little fish, and I think this is really going to pan out for us right here. And if we hadn't have left and just watching those electronics, we'd have never found this. So, you know, keep an eye on your electronics when you're easing around. You may stumble upon something that really help you catch a lot of fish. What I've done here, I've changed gears a little bit. The wind's picked up on us, so instead of making a good pitch out there and letting it swing down on a pendulum, I've really started paying close attention to my hummingbirds here, and I'm getting right on the edge of this brush. What I've done with the wind up, I've left that 16th, I went to an 8th. It's a little heavier jig, so I can just get straight on top of them, but 2, I can keep that rod tip down low, and that keeps that wind from having so much drag on that bait. You know, I'm keeping that rod tip low down there on the water. I can still move it around and do what I need to do. Watching these electronics, I'm just getting right on the edge of that. And so right there is my window of opportunity. I'm just putting it right in their face. Good one. Don't be afraid to change. You know, when the conditions change on you, the fish are going to change. So let the fish tell you what they want to do. We swap gears right there. Got another good keeper. Just be aware of what's going on. Watch your electronics, watch the fish, what they're doing. Go ahead and get you some old good crappie.